Splorin!
The story of Krazy Joe was torn from yesterday's headlines, and it's as terrifying as tomorrow's.
All right. Good morning. It's Krazy Joe, and you're on mute, Ryan.
I am on mute. Yeah, that was an interesting piece that you made there. I like that.
Yeah, and okay. No, I don't hear myself again. Okay, for a second there, I heard myself coming through your screen, but not anymore. So whatever it was seems to have been a glitch. But hey, everybody, I'm Krazy Joe.
And I'm Krazy Joe.
Yeah. We're currently on 3 channels. We're on 3 channels right now. We're on my channel, we're on your channel, and we're on the MME channel. And we're also live streaming on that dead format known as Twitter, because everyone's on Threads now. But you know what the heck? We'll get our death rattle out of the old girl.
Maybe, I actually had to pull up Twitter about an hour ago to check something, and it felt dirty doing it. But I haven't really figured out how to check for like hashtag type things on Threads, so I just shut it off.
They don't have hashtags yet, which on one hand that's a good thing, because you don't see fire James Gunn every 5 minutes, or but on the other hand, it does help you. The hashtags do help you find the topics you're interested in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So. The reason we're here today, and by the way, this is the first time I have done a live stream on the Krazy Joe Adventures channel in over a year. There has not been a live stream on this channel in over a year. I've been doing all the live streams over on the Krazy Joe's Concession Stand channel. So anyone who isn't subscribed to Krazy Joe's Concession Stand, welcome back. You haven't seen me live in forever. And Ryan, we both, I realized we both had some changes coming. We both had
I'm going to be a man. Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. Look, Scott on Tape is here. I have never met Scott on Tape.
I have. I called him the Laughing Canadian in a video because he had me laughing and I completely spaced out on.
Oh, Scott on Tape, if you're ever in the Philly area, please give me a call, because I would love to do a video with you. I enjoy your work quite a bit. Movie Hunter is here. But the reason I suggested we do this live stream is because I'm making some changes to my channel. You're rebooting Splorin, and I thought, let's come together and let's tell people what we're doing, so people have an idea what the changes are. So why don't you go first, Ryan? Tell us about Splorin 2.0.
Okay. So for those of you that are not familiar with Splorin 1.0, the channel's been around in some form or another since 2015, I want to say. Got started several years ago just because as a father of 2 at that time very young children in Orlando, I wanted to put some of my stuff up on YouTube, commemorate some stuff, and then I thought, this could be fun. I'll put some stuff up for other fathers like me. Quickly realized there are very few fathers out there that are like me, and switched over and started becoming the anti-vlogger, if you will. A lot of vloggers were very how do I put this? Very positive and very bubbly, and I tried to swing as far as I could the other direction without being overly crass. A lot more making fun of the subject matter, things like that. But as time went by, I actually started taking it slightly more seriously. I got into this whole crazy vlogging thing that you are in as well. We have a lot of mutual friends, obviously, and the channel picked up a little bit of steam. It's not overly large. I've got 2,100 or so subscribers right now, and I am thankful for each and every one of them. But let's face it, that is not a huge number comparatively to a lot of the people that we both know. But I always said that it was okay. I didn't need to be big. This was something I was doing for fun, and I didn't want to be lumped into the same category of being, hey there, hey guys, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I started hamstring myself to make sure that I never could grow to that point. But I got to the point a few weeks ago where I decided, I'm kind of tired of playing the part of the foil all the time and being the slob on YouTube. I kind of want to see what will happen if I actually try. And so we got to the point where, as of a week and a half ago, I relaunched the channel. And Splorin, I put 2.0 up there. It's not really called Splorin 2.0, it's Splorin. It is definitely a somewhat different product. It's shot a lot better. I'm actually, taking my time to map out my shots. I'm doing a lot more research on topics before I film them. There's a lot more voiceover, a lot more production value, a lot more research, like I said. And I actually have professional equipment now. I'm taking it seriously, really, is what it comes down to. The topics are going to be less, hey, I'm out and about, let me jam my phone into everybody's face, and more of things that I've picked in advance because I haven't seen people cover them ad nauseum. So there is a very long-winded explanation as to what is that for. But that being said, you know more about Splorin 2.0 than I think I know, and your audience knows perhaps, about Krazy Joe's Adventures. I'm assuming you're sticking with the name, correct?
I am. Krazy Joe. Here's the deal. About a year ago, I made a decision. At the time, we were called Megapodtastic. And I made a decision to rebrand. And I said, I'm going to be Krazy Joe Adventures. And I'm killing movie talk. We're not going to talk about movies. No more movie reviews. No more, hey, I just got this Blu-ray and I want to... That stuff didn't interest me. I kind of got pigeonholed into that. And it didn't really interest me. So I said, I'm walking away from that. We're going to do Krazy Joe Adventures. It's going to be out and about stuff. It's going to be checking out, weird tourist attractions and pop-ups. I mean, look, let's be honest here. I always say personality is everything. People tune in to see a personality because we're not breaking new ground here. You and I don't think it's any secret that we have friends much more famous than we are, who we got Adam the Woo, we got Tampa J,
Scott on Tape.
Yeah, Scott on Tape, whom I've never met. Scott on Tape, I'd love to be your friend.
Scott's a good dude. Yeah, all joking aside, Scott is a good dude.
Yeah, no, we've got all these friends that are Jackie, that are just much more successful than we are. And they kind of, and I'm not criticizing anybody. Don't get me wrong. Like, Adam, Jackie, Jay, you're watching. No criticism here. But they kind of tend to hit a lot of the same areas. The same subject matters, theme parks, whatever. So, and I recognize those are the kind of subject matters I want to hit too. I think it's personality that makes it unique. You're not getting new ground necessarily, but you're getting it from a different perspective. Like nobody can do Krazy Joe's perspective except Krazy Joe. That's the way I see it. So that's the kind of stuff I wanted to do. That's the kind of stuff I was interested in. And I said, that's what I'm going to commit myself to a year ago. Somehow I ended up getting back into movie talk on a separate channel. There's a separate channel, Krazy Joe's Concession Stand. And basically it was a lot of my audience was like, we want you doing movie reviews. We want you coming out of the theater and telling us what you thought. And I said, okay, well, it'll be a separate channel now.
Yeah. And
I slowly but surely found myself back in the same old habits. So a week ago, I was on a live stream, and I think Brucifer might have been there. Kingdom of Nerds. By the way, subscribe to Kingdom of Nerds. He's great. Check him out. Bobby Hand says, hey, guys. Good to see you, Bobby.
Do you know Bobby yet?
I do not think I do.
Bobby's a good dude. Get to know Bobby. He's a great guy.
About a week ago, I was on a live stream on one of these channels we're streaming on now, the MME channel,
Yeah.
and we were talking movies because that's what we do. And the topic started to depress me. And it started to depress me because let me show you something. I want to show you a disc here. This is one of my absolute favorite movies of the year. I love this movie so much. I saw this movie 4 times in the theater, and it did absolute crap at the box office. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I
Yeah.
love this movie. And whenever this movie gets brought up, all anyone wants to talk about is how it bombed. Oh, it was a bomb. It was a bomb. Likewise, I saw the new Indiana Jones, which not the best Indiana Jones, but I quite enjoyed it. And all I went to, it's bombing, it's bombing. And then The Flash, which was my favorite movie I've seen all year. Again, biggest box office disaster of the year. And finally, I said on the live stream, I said, you know what? Who cares? Who cares that these movies bomb? Who cares that these movies bomb? Because this movie may have bombed at the box office, but it was made. And I loved it. And other people loved it. Brucifer loved it. And I have it on a disc now. And I can watch it whenever I want. And no matter how much it made at the box office, you can't take this away from me. You can't take it's mine. Back in the 80s, there was a movie that changed my life in 1987. One of the greatest box office disasters of all time, Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren. I love this movie. It tickled me as a kid. I've got the autographed poster signed by Dolph Lundgren in my hall. How much this made at the box office doesn't affect my love for it in the least. And I started thinking to myself, why are we talking about these movies and just talking about this was a failure and this was a failure? Aren't we here to celebrate the movies? Aren't we here to talk about what we love? Aren't we here to talk about the things that that are a passion to us? But instead, it's just fighting and arguing. And no, this movie sucked, and no, your movie sucked, and you're nuts if you like that movie. And I said, you know what? I want to keep loving movies, and the best way for me to keep loving movies is to stop talking about them on the internet. I want to watch them and I want to love them. So 1 year later, I am once again walking away from movie talk and recommitting myself to the Krazy Joe Adventures channel. This is my main channel. As far as I'm concerned, it's my only channel. I'm not going to delete the other channel. It'll be there. Maybe someday I'll want to post something on it. But I'm going back to getting out of the basement and doing stuff. Yesterday, I posted a video. I went out. I got a free Slurpee from 7-Eleven. And tomorrow, Friday, I'm going out. I'm doing a food video. I'm going to go out and get some food. I'm doing a blob fest on Saturday, but I'm getting out. I'm doing stuff, and that's what I want to be doing, and that's what I'm recommitting myself to. And like you said, you and I are in a unique position. I see you as my closest parallel, I think, here on YouTube, because you and I know the same people. We kind of do the same things. And we're also family men. We
Absolutely.
got wife, kids, and that kind of holds us back just a little bit.
I mean,
Because
the unfortunate reality, you feel guilty about saying that, but it's
right.
entirely
Well,
true.
no. I mean, it holds us back on YouTube. I don't mean it holds
Yeah.
us back in life.
No, I know what you mean.
But yeah, like our friend Adam, Adam Lewu can go anywhere, anytime. He doesn't have anything tying him down, and that's just not our reality. So it kind of hampers what we can and can't shoot because we're tied to a specific place and a time. And I really want to build this channel. I don't need to be the biggest guy. I don't need to be as big as Adam. I don't need to be as big as Tampa J, but I don't want to stagnate. And I've been stagnating. I've been at like the same sub count since my last video with Adam. You know, every time you vlog with Adam, your count goes up. But then if he's not around, it just dies on the vine. And I want to build this thing organically and not just
Yeah.
because someone stuck me on a channel with them. And I don't know the
Absolutely.
way you do that. I don't know. But I sure want to try. And at CGH, don't worry, I'll be around. I'll pop up from time to time. I just don't want to. I just don't want to get bummed out talking about movies all the time.
Can I say real quick two quick things on what you just said before
Yeah.
we get too much further ahead. One, in return, in regards to Masters of the Universe, Skeletor, um, honestly, played by a world famous and much respected actor in a film that he does not, or he did not. Obviously he's not really with us so much, but he never really talked about that movie a whole lot. But I thought he did a fantastic job in that movie, and the movie was underrated. But can we just take a moment to acknowledge that as much as the Flash quote unquote bombed, and I'm not entirely sure it bombed. It bombed in regards to what some people thought it could make. But I mean, let's face it, this was not a money losing film in the end. They will make their money back and then some. Michael Keaton coming back as the '89 Batman. Um, you can't take that away from this movie.
No.
This was in general, and as much as I'm not a fan of Ezra Miller, he did a good job in the movie. There's just no way around it. He did. So when people are being overly negative on some of this stuff, especially in the movies, I think we need to keep a lot of that stuff in perspective. And I know you generally do a very good job of doing that. Bombed. What is the context for bombed? What makes bombed? What makes a bad movie?
Well, they are saying the Flash is going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. Apparently, it cost $300 million to make, and they just got to $100 million. So, but like you said, I don't think any of these movies really do bomb when they're part of a franchise. And I'll tell you why I say that. Star Trek V: The Final Frontier. 1989, it was a punchline. Everybody was like, "Oh, Star Trek V, that one sucked. Don't ever let Shatner direct again." How many times has the average Star Trek fan purchased Star Trek V?
4.
Because they package them in. They make you a box set. They go, "Here's a box set of all the movies."
Mm-hmm.
So it gets packaged in there. You buy the VHS set. I mean, if you're as old as us, you buy the VHS set that's got all the movies. Then you buy the DVD set that's got all the movies. Then you buy the Blu-ray set that's got all the movies. They keep selling you Star Trek V. Doesn't matter how much that bombed, we keep buying it because it's part of the set and the completion. So I don't believe for a second Disney's gonna lose money on Indiana Jones. They may lose it short term, maybe at the box office,
There you go.
but they're going to be, because it's part of one of the most famous film franchises of all time. They're going to be selling box sets of all 5 Indiana Jones movies till the end of time. They're going to sell that movie so many times over.
Absolutely.
Just by sheer connection to the other movies.
Absolutely.
So,
and you know as well as I do that once things get to streaming channels, all bets are off. There are so many movies that have done remarkably well when they made it to Netflix or Hulu or what have you, that were just absolutely ignored at the theater and have become so big on the streaming channels that they end up getting picked up for an actual box office sequel. So I have trouble when people slag on a movie like that, taking it too seriously when they say that it's a failure, because failure to me is such a broad term. It's in the eye of the beholder as far as I'm concerned. And I know that gets us away from the topic of the evening, but it's something that has been irritating me for a while. And since you brought it up, I'm assuming that it's something that is kind of picked at you as well.
Yeah, it's been bothering me because the bottom line is I just love movies. I just love the movies. I don't love every movie. I see a lot of movies that I quite frankly can't stand. But even those movies, and that's another thing. There is a group of people on YouTube that celebrate failure. When a movie like The Flash bombs, or that they're going to go out and make video after video celebrating how woke Hollywood is dying, and it's just like, how the hundreds and hundreds of people that work on a movie, like, how sick do you need to be to celebrate their failure? Like, it just, Like I didn't like. Oh God, what's a recent movie I didn't like? I can't. I'm drawing a blank now. I didn't like Avatar. Okay, I didn't like Avatar, and obviously James Cameron had nothing to worry about. His movie did quite fine, but I wasn't sitting there like going, "Please, Avatar, fail, fail." Like it's not like I get paid if that movie fails.
And forgive me, my
Yeah.
my speaker started playing something that
That's all
had
right.
been pre. No, it's you're absolutely right. And actually, it's funny when you said what's a movie I didn't like, and I was trying to think because you and I talked about a movie that did really well recently that neither one of us liked. We talked about it a few weeks ago, and now I am drawing a blank as to what that one
Oh
was.
man, I don't even remember.
And you know, it's funny. It goes to what you said about the respective channels. Um, we have some friends that are doing some absolutely fantastic things and very big things, and we like them and we like what they're doing, but they aren't necessarily either your or my cup of tea as to something that we would want to go out and do. Now, does the fact that we don't want to do it ourselves, does that mean that we think it's bad or a failure? By no means.
Right, right.
So again, it's a lot of. I think the view is changed by where you're standing at a given moment. You know.
I agree, and we see so many, so many of our friends. We'll look at the comments on their videos, and people will be like, "I hate when you make these kind of videos," and it's like, okay, well, why'd you click on it? He's gonna, like we know a guy who does a video every day. You don't like today's? Tell me what you think of tomorrow's.
Absolutely.
It's like you don't. I don't know what to tell people. It's like you're not gonna like everything I do. And then sometimes you just throw spaghetti at a wall to see if it sticks.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we were talking last time. Last time Adam was in town, we were talking about his travel videos,
Yes.
and he said people love to see him get on an airplane. He's like people like it. They like watching it. They like watching him check in. Like people tell him like, "Oh, that was a cool video."
He's like people like it.
So
They like watching him check in.
so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to film myself going through the car wash. I'm going to the car wash anyway. I'll film it. So I put a video up. It's called "Oh No, It's Gonna Blow Bubble Cano," and
Jesus.
cat attack, cat attack. This is why you tune in, man. You never know
Wow.
when animals attack.
You know what's really strange about this is I don't own a cat. I'm kidding. Damn. I'm sorry about that.
$2 super chat from Brent Mania. Thank you, Brent Mania. 2 legendary men on YouTube can't handle all this. Well, no one can. We're a lot to handle. So.
Charged by the pound. Yes. It's funny. You bring up what Adam is doing, and you and I actually had a conversation last year, not too long past this time of year, when the McBoo buckets came out.
Yeah.
And I made one, so I can't say a whole lot. Mine was obviously very tongue-in-cheek and sort of a parody of the McBoo bucket videos, but people made the McBoo bucket videos, and those things did remarkably well. And what was it? It was generally it was the same video. It was people sitting down and clogging their arteries. But they did really well. But then you could see somebody go out and put a ton of time and effort into something that's a passion project, really, and they don't do well at all. Your video where you did the car wash. I'm sorry. How did that end up doing?
Oh, it did terrible. It did terrible. Nobody wanted to see me go through a car wash.
I do.
But it's like I don't know, you throw see, because I was going to go through that car wash anyway. And this is a conversation I had with the Philly captain not long ago. The Philly captain and I were taking a walk, and I'm always amazed by his ability. Have you ever watched his videos? Obviously, he was in your town last week. I don't know if you got to meet him, but
he was. I didn't meet him. He and I have the same camera. That's about the extent of what we have going for us.
Oh, you got that little camera? He's got that. His camera's wild, man. Oh, wow. All right. You got to tell me more about that because Adam was telling me the kind of camera he uses last time he was here, and I started pricing it. It's like $1,000 camera.
Let's get it on eBay.
which here's the thing. I don't mind, I didn't expect it to be cheap. But with my views and my subs, I can't justify spending that much on a camera. Now I know you gotta spend money to make money. You gotta like put money into, but I think I need a mid-level camera, something
Absolutely.
like in between what I'm using now and what Adam has, and then when if I can justify it, then buy the better hat camera. But then and I'm thinking this, and then Adam puts out a video the other day talking about how he's thinking of going back to shooting on a phone. So who the hell knows?
Hey, you know what? The phones these days are. I think the phones these days are up to the task. But I will say this: I've been shooting on my phone, with the exception of, I want to say, 3 videos for the last how many years. This one I picked up, call it about a month and a half ago. Psychologically, having put the investment into a dedicated camera, I think that is part of why I suddenly feel like I need to go out and take this more seriously. There's that psychological effect, call it placebo, if you will, that once you've made this investment and you have this vlogging camera, well, I better go out there and use it. It's silly, but it's true.
Yeah, I hear you. I definitely want to get something better. My issue with my phone is sound. Very often it sounds like I'm whispering on that thing. You can't hear me. And like when obviously I'm not on the phone right now because I'm using the computer, but when I'm recording, I record like this and I talk right into the thing because it doesn't pick my voice up. And sometimes it's still that, like you'll see me in 7-Eleven the other day. I thought I sounded very low.
Mhm.
The other thing is night shooting. Like I did a video at Christmas time where I went and saw some Christmas lights. It looks like trash. I mean, I was recording in 4K, but the nighttime, it just looked like garbage. So that's the kind of stuff I want to avoid. But I got off on a tangent here. What the captain, what amazes me about the Philly captain is he has an ability to go out and just shoot. Again, Philly captain, if you're watching, no criticism. I love your content. This is praise, not criticism.
But his videos are so bad.
No, he has an
I'm sorry.
ability to shoot nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and making it like he'll just like, let's go down to Kensington. And he's walking around the street in Philly. And it's like, he's not doing anything like unique. He's just walking down the street and he makes it interesting. I can't do that. Like, I need to have some kind of a topic. I wish I could. I wish I had his ability to just be like, we're going to just go down the street and see what bum's sitting on the sidewalk. and it's very entertaining.
I'd watch that.
Well, he's a very entertaining guy, and I don't know. I thought that's another thing. I thought I was an entertaining guy until I met him. But there's some people you just meet him and you're like, I can't. I did a video with him and Adam, and nobody knew I was in the video. I'm reading the comments and people are like, "You two are great together," and I'm like, "There were 3 of us."
Trust me, when I was in the video with Adam and with Scott, got a lot of the same. And these days, I just get asked by people. Well, not so much these days, but up until the last year or so, I got a lot of people asking me if I was World of Micah, or I actually had one person ask me if I was the carpetbagger. I got
asked if I was the carpetbagger in October. I was at a
2 feet taller than Jacob, but
a guy walks up to me and he just goes, "You're on YouTube, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "You're the carpetbagger." And I'm like, "No, I'm not the carpetbagger."
Said that like a matter of fact, did he? Hey, you know who you are.
Let me tell you who you are.
Let me tell you, folks at home, I have been on a couple of occasions with Joe and Jacob in the same room at the same time, and Joe is probably a good 2 feet taller than Jacob, so they are not the same person.
Hey, at least they thought I was someone fairly successful.
That's a very good way of looking at things.
And that's the other thing. Like I've been doing this for how many years now? How many years have I've been doing this for so long? I got so many videos up on this channel, and just a couple months ago, I'm at the movie theater. Someone stops me and they go, "You're on YouTube, right?" "Yeah." Oh yeah, I saw you on Adam the Woo. It's like you didn't see me on Crazy Joe, huh? You saw me. All right,
a lot.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Subscribe to my channel now.
I call myself adjacent to fame, but you know what? It's fine, honestly. At the end of the day, you think about Seinfeld as a good example. Jason Alexander and Juliet. I almost called her Juliet Lewis. Really, any of the characters, they brought people a lot of joy. They brought people a lot of laughter.
Oh yeah,
but it wasn't their show. But
Right.
It doesn't really take away from what they did at the end of the day. I'm holding onto the cat right now so that he doesn't jump up and rip my shoulder open again.
Oh, I have one that does that too, but I don't think she knows I don't think she knows I'm online yet. So
This guy is about 2 months old right now, so he has no sense of boundaries.
Butts Unplugged says it's 1:25 a.m. in the UK. So,
Ooh.
hey, Greg's Game Room says, did we know Kermit the Frog is no longer voiced by Jim Henson?
This is true. He is...
And he's not voiced by Brian Henson either, I would like to point out.
He's not. Real quick before we go any further, I do want to say Brent had asked us a question. Do either of us watch German in Venice on YouTube? And what does carpetbagger mean? What does he call himself that? Real quick on that one, German in Venice, I am not subscribed to him, nothing against him. I've only seen a couple minutes of his stuff. Seems like a very nice guy. As for the carpetbagger, carpetbagger was a derogatory term for people much like myself who moved from the north to the south. They did not like us coming down there, and they called them carpetbaggers because they'd show up with a crappy suitcase full of painful cat scratches, and there you go.
Is it always from the north to the south? I thought it was just someone who came from out of town. Like I didn't know it was.
It started off at least with Northerners.
Because I know they called Hillary Clinton a carpetbagger when she ran for the Senate in New York instead of Arkansas. So
that it's grown since then, but it started with that. And yes, I do have cat scratch fever, Greg. I hope everyone enjoyed watching my cat's backside.
You know the whole Brian Henson story, right? You've heard that story, right?
Yeah.
I might be putting that up on my shorts soon. That's another funny thing.
Brian's a funny dude.
That's something you might be able to chime in on too. You and I, as you said, fame adjacent. I don't know if you get the phenomenon where people just assume that you know people you don't know.
Yes.
Like when Tim Tracker made the comment about Brian Henson, people were telling me, you got to correct Tim Tracker. I'm like, I don't know Tim Tracker.
Why do I have to do it?
I've never met Tim Tracker. And then I did meet him. First thing I did was correct him.
And now he won't talk to me anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Hey, he put it on his video, so I don't know. He didn't just write me off, so.
It is funny. I will say this, being a friend of Adam's and the fact that he is closer to me geographically speaking, I am probably more likely to come across some of these people. And again, I'm in Orlando. Let's face it. People go to Orlando 15 times. You used to live here. You know how it is.
Yes, but every time I come to Orlando, you leave town.
Well,
Except the one time.
When I was here, I showed up.
You did. It's kind of amazing that every time I come to town, you're out of town. So
I travel more than I'd care to because most of it's work type travel. But
which reminds me, Brent Maney asked if I'm going to Dragon Con. Sadly, I will not be at Dragon Con this year. You will. Ryan will be at Dragon Con. I will not this year.
As will Crazy Greg's. As will Greg's Game Room.
Greg's Game Room. I'm assuming it's the usual gang. You, Greg's Game Room, Tampa J, Adam, Chris the Girl.
Yes, I don't believe Jacob is going to end up making it this year either.
Yes. Jacob hasn't been. He missed the last 2 years though, didn't he?
He has. A couple things on that one. I know he's trying to hit a lot of theme parks and things like that. Greg would like your hotel room.
I would give it to you, Greg, but we already canceled it. Unfortunately, actually, we didn't even cancel it. We changed the date. I'm going to Dragon Con early. I'm checking in. I'm checking into that hotel room in the last week of, or the first week of August.
First week of August.
I will get there on the opposite end of the month from everyone else.
What are you going for?
Last year, my wife and kids were supposed to come to Dragon Con as well.
Right.
And they wanted to go to the Atlanta Aquarium, and they wanted to go to a dolphin encounter. So they bought the tickets, pricey, not cheap, and non-refundable. And then at the last minute, they had to cancel. So we called the Georgia Aquarium, and we convinced them to let us go at another time. And we decided to go first week of August. So I will not be there for Dragon Con, but I will be going to Atlanta. So my wife can use her dolphin encounter tickets
with your lovely wife Stephanie and your two kids Bernice and Danica
and Superfly. Yes,
and Superfly. Yes. First time that you've been. Well, I think you've been to the aquarium once before, haven't you?
I have. This will be my first time ever in Atlanta outside of Dragon Con. So it'll be very weird, like, because we're gonna go to the Marriott, like, so my daughter can see where they shot Loki. And it's going to be weird. We're going to be like, where's all the cosplayers?
It's funny. It is weird. Greg, who's on here right now, has gone a couple times as well off of Dragon Con, as have I. It's sad, actually. You feel like a piece of you is missing as you're walking around and there's nobody there.
Next year, man. Next year, I get very, very bummed out when I'm not there, and it's really just about friends. Like you and I, we don't see each other all year. We see each other at Dragon Con. Yep. My friends Chuck, Craig, Clinton, from the Topic is Trek podcast, the Technorama podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I see them every year at Dragon Con. This year, I'm not going to see them at all. And this sounds depressing. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be the most depressing version of what I'm about to say. But Chuck told me several years ago, whenever you're at Dragon Con, take lots of pictures because you never know when it's going to be the last time you see somebody. Now, when I say that, a lot of people think like, we're all going to die. No, it doesn't have to be that morbid. Some people just decide they're not going to go to Dragon Con anymore. Some people are like, oh, you know what? I want to, like our friend Scott Tyler, who was there every single year. Last year, he told us it was his last year because he wants to go travel. He wants to do other things. He's like, I've done Dragon Con enough. Unless I go to Phoenix, which I might go to Phoenix someday. I don't know if I'm going to see Scott Tyler again. That might be the last time I ever see Scott Tyler in person last year. It's things like that. You never know.
It's true.
Yeah. So
it's entirely true. Well, you will be missed. We will put a hot dog aside for you. Spill a little salt on the table in your honor, sir, at the varsity, and we will miss you. I think you've been at the last 3 Dragon Cons I've been to.
I think so.
I think you missed the year before that one, and then I actually met you at Dragon Con back 6 or 7.
Yeah, we met on the parade route. We met. Yeah.
That would have been 2007.
Yeah, I want to say because my daughter was born in 2015. I was invited in 2015 to be a presenter at the Parsec Awards, and I had to turn it down because I'm like, my daughter's my wife's gonna go into labor like right at that time. So no. So the next year, 2016 was the first year I went, and then I met you the year after that because I met Adam the first year, and quite frankly, to quote the Philly captain, I think I fangirled out when I met him. I think
hey, hold on 1 second. My cat just unplugged something here. Keep talking. I'm going to move off of camera for 1 moment.
Well, your cat unplugged something, but if we want to keep talking about things that are unplugged, Butts Unplugged asked if I'm looking forward to Deadpool 3, or both of us, if we're looking forward to. I say yes. I'm looking forward to Deadpool 3.
Absolutely.
And Trey Needham says, "Do we like the live action Mario?" Yeah, it's fun.
I thought the live action Mario was much better than a lot of people did at the time, but I was also like 12.
It's like me with the Masters of the Universe movie. It's like it's a time and a place and where you were at that time, and
It's context, man. It's all about the context.
yeah. We got Jeff. Jeff Yellick is here. Hello from
Hey,
Is that a friend of yours? He's from Ohio.
absolutely. So Jeff is honestly, Jeff is like my brother. Jeff and I have been friends since high school, which unfortunately is going on 30 years back. But we were in most of the same bands throughout the years. Jeff was the guitar player in all but one band I've ever been in. And he has a channel with his lovely wife, Molly, called the Dark Side Couple. Jeff, do you mind, because put it in the chat. No one is going to be able to find it because of the way it's spelled unless you spell it out here, because we can't spell anything past like 3 or 4 letters.
Oh, and Bobby says he commented on my Dragon Con vlog last year. I'm sorry, Bobby.
Oh yeah. Bobby's the one that you and I were talking about. He was talking about us being in the car last year and why you weren't in the car this year and where you were during the parade. That was Bobby. That you remember Bobby?
Yeah, I still blame Chris the girl for that. She took my spot. I'll throw her under the bus.
I had it, and the funny thing is I jumped out of the car anyways. Now I did that on my own volition because I honestly wanted to run around the crowd a little bit, which by the way, I have never been that winded before. Bobby, Bobby actually he's been around at least on my channel for well over a year now. Bobby's a good dude, and Jeff, who you see here, Dark Side Couple, great guy. If you guys can give Dark Side Couple, he just popped it up there on YouTube. Give him a subscribe if you guys are into things like Star Wars, among other things. They do other things, but for this crowd, I'm gonna say Star Wars.
We got Greg popping up under 2 different names here. He's got his vlogosphere over here. He's got his game room over here. He's just everywhere, man.
He absolutely is. That is Greg's mutant power. He's like the American Express. He's everywhere you want to be.
Oh yeah, you don't leave home without Greg.
Actually, in my case, you don't. Yeah. See, we have Jeff, who is my hometown brother, and then we have Greg, who is my new hometown brother. Both in the chat at the same time, which is a very big deal for me.
Judy came from Ohio. She's a Scientologist.
Who's Judy?
It's a line from the song 88 Lines About 44 Women.
Oh.
Remember that old 80s song, 88 Lines About 44 Women?
I don't.
It's a song, and there's 44 women.
Okay.
And they sing about them, and there's 88 lines about them. World's worst description.
So this is really on the nose. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's one of the lines is, Judy came from Ohio. She's a Scientologist. So there you go.
Yeah, by the way, Jeff just said that makes us brothers too. He's talking to you, Greg. Yes, by association, you guys are now related. So, Greg, subscribe to Jeff, the Dark Side Couple. Jeff, subscribe to Greg and the Game Room, and we will all be middle-aged. I don't know where I was going with that.
Middle-aged man.
Ryan from Lutz, wiggity walk, wiggity whack, wiggity walk. God, it's been a long day.
Oh boy, Scott on Tape still here? We lose him? Did we chase him right out?
He probably, I would imagine, jumped off to do his own live stream. Scott generally does his evening live streams right around now.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't done so, they are very entertaining live streams. So wait till we're done in about 10 minutes, and then go watch Scott do his thing.
Greg says, when you don't know what to say, just stop a moment and say pizza. Okay.
Yeah, I've got no context, but I'll just take that as gospel.
Yeah. I usually just go and do the Galileo hoop hoop. Do you know the Galileo hoop hoop, the Kuzbanian mating call from the Muppet Show?
Now that you put the context to it, I can show you something actually. I got this last year at Epcot. This is. Can you tell why I had to get this?
From what you're showing me, I'm going to say because Lips is on it.
Well, can you tell who painted this?
No.
This is an Alex Ross.
That's an Alex. Oh, I'm very familiar with Alex Ross. Yeah.
Now that you know it's Alex Ross, what does this look like to you?
His Justice League poster?
It is the Kingdom Come. Yes, it's the Justice League.
Yeah.
Kingdom Come painted with the Muppets.
That's amazing. I want that now. I got to get one of these. Do they still sell them?
I don't think so. I think they made like 120 of these things. I have never bought a piece of art until I saw that, and then I bought that, and I keep it right above my desk.
I have, but I have to because of associations. So,
yes, sir.
Mr. Perillo, I got a ton of Dave Perillo art all over this place.
You know what's funny? I travel a lot, and I end up in Red Robins here and there. And I don't know if you knew this, but Dave has Red Robin art. You know, they put their crazy posters and paintings all over the walls. If you go into most of them, you'll find a Dave Perillo or two.
I did not know this. I'm wondering why Dave never told me that. I'm gonna have to go to our local Red Robin and see if I see it now. Welcome, Nola Deesh. Good. Oh, excuse me.
Welcome.
Let me just. Good to see you. Oh boy. Hey, Butts Unplugged is having a 47th birthday. Happy birthday to you, man.
Congratulations on living. I don't know where I was going. Happy birthday is what I meant to say, but it came out. Yes. Congratulations. So.
Anyone who's not subscribed to Nola Deesh, go do that. He's one of the good ones. And what is it? 25K you just hit, man? That's he's putting us to shame, man. He's putting us to shame, but well deserved.
Can we just take a moment to fawn over Deej a second? I happen to believe, and I've been saying this for almost 8 years, that Deej has the best channel to learn and be educated consistently out there right now. He is doing locations that nobody else does. They're very entertaining, but you learn something every last time.
Now, on the other hand, you come to my channel and you see a guy go through a car wash.
But you still end up learning something. I don't know what you're learning.
You learned that some jackass thought it was a good idea to shoot a video going through a car wash.
You know what, though? I would watch that if you screamed or cried the entire time you were in there with no context. That would make a hilarious video for me. Is somebody going through a car wash just terrified the entire time?
Oh yeah, there is.
We got Justin Retro TV. Welcome, Retro. And Reggie 19 says just learned about Wawa today. There you go.
What did you learn about Wawa today?
That it existed, probably. So
everywhere you are and everywhere I am.
I will correct a misconception that I heard on a particular vlog from last week that took place in the state of Florida that had two acquaintances of mine. Wawa is not the name of a town. No. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, Wawa, Pennsylvania is a town." Wawa, PA is not a town. Wawa, PA is basically Wawa Dairy Farm has its own zip code. So Wawa, PA is the one property. It is just the Wawa Dairy Farm. That's it. They just happen to have their own zip code. So when you get something from Wawa and look on the back and it says made in Wawa, PA, That isn't like some town in Pennsylvania where they're like, let's name the stores after this town. No. Wawa, PA is that property. It's just they went and got their own zip code.
I was at Wawa a few hours ago, actually, filling my tank. I don't believe I have ever noticed that they stick a made in Wawa sticker on anything. Is this a thing that I should be looking for?
I don't
know. Nola Deej says, I did a car wash video, but it was haunted, so that was something. What if you did a video in a car wash where you complained the entire time that you were terrified of ghosts, but you don't have the context of the car wash being haunted? You're just terrified of ghosts and going through a car wash.
Maybe I should just have my daughter like wear a ghost sheet and like be in the back seat go, we're in a car wash, and my 7-year-old's just in the back going, woo,
while you're trying to escape the car.
Nola Deej's video sounds much better than mine. I don't think I've seen that one. I gotta find that one. I'm just a slightly better dancer than Elaine Venice from Seinfeld, Greg has learned. And there we go. So yeah. Let's get if there is a topic, let's try to get back on it.
Yeah.
Is there a topic? So we were talking about the changes coming to your channel, the changes coming to my channel.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think we can do? What do you think guys like you and I, who family, wives, kids, inability to really get up and leave and go cross country at the drop of a hat, what can guys like us do to grow a channel?
Well, two things. My day job is I am in digital marketing. So I actually work on several very successful YouTube channels, just not my own. So I can tell you right now, a lot of it comes down to the algorithm of just posting 2 to 3 times a week religiously. Whether they're good or bad, when you do that, it's going to start getting shown. But in my particular case, I did last week download a new Google Calendar plugin, and I went through and I drew a circle around the map of Orlando that is 60 miles around. I figured I can do 60 miles on a weekend, and I picked out all the places in the 60 miles that I would like to see, and I had a conversation with my wife about this, and she's very supportive. So what I will be doing is on the weekends, I will be going to one of those locations, and then generally, and I won't do it this week because we're here, instead, I will be going to a local Orlando location and do like a mini vlog, and then the big vlog on the weekends. How about you? What have you thought about?
Well, I'll tell you, doing an upload twice a week pretty much seems impossible to maintain for me, for my lifestyle, for my kids. The way my life goes. I think the best I can hope to do is once a week. Yes. And even that gets to be a challenge. And then there's the question of repetitiveness. I don't know how you feel about this. I did say, a lot of it is your personality, but I don't want to be too repetitive.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I did 2 videos already this year at a local drive-in movie, the Mahoning Drive-In. In fact, Lisa Soares was in one of those videos. She was in the Muppet Steak the Mahoning video, and that was awesome because Lisa lives in Rhode Island, and I met her for the first time there in person. But we're going again in a couple weeks to see. They're showing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1990 film.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking, do I do a third video at the drive-in in a short period of time, or is that too repetitive? Are people like, no, we already saw that? And then we talked about the McBoo buckets. I saw, and I put this up on my community tab earlier today. Last year. Oh my God, I felt like crap because I put this up on my community tab earlier today, and then no sooner did I post it when I saw one of my friends posted this exact video that I'm talking about. And I'm like, oh man, I wasn't targeting you. Last year, I noticed everybody started doing the let's see what's in spirit Halloween this year video. And I'm like, do I do that video? or do I just say no? Everyone just did that video. And then I posted that, and no sooner did I post that when Clearski the Creeper posted, "Hey, let's check out Spirit Halloween." And I'm like, "Oh man, he's gonna think that was about him because I know he subbed to me, so he's gonna see that on my community. I didn't mean you."
He's a good dude too.
Yeah.
So it's funny you bring up the spirit thing. Obviously, we've seen the last couple of weeks. I've seen a big uptick. Spirit's not open yet, but Spirit has started reaching out to these YouTubers with these boxes. Like Jackie got one. Influencer videos or influencer vloggers. Spirit has seen these videos, and they're now sending these VIP influencer boxes to some of those people. So to your point, it's becoming a thing. It really is. I say that with no judgment, but
Yeah.
I think you're right. We've kind of missed we've missed the boat on that one as content goes.
And Noladish told me last time he and I spoke, he was really pushing the importance of the shorts and the TikToks. Yeah. And I've been posting some shorts. I don't know if you noticed, Noladish, I've been posting shorts, and it's because of you, because you told me I should be doing that. And they've been hit or miss. I mean, some of them have been extremely successful, and some of them nobody watched. You never know. But in fact, I've been digging through the archives. I pulled out one from Dragon Con where, we were all hanging out, and Maury started. Maury showed up and was. Remember that? Hey, Maury! Hey, Maury! You remember that
one? Mauricio?
No. Greg was showing me his Orin necklace, and somebody was screaming for Maury in the background, and we were trying
to yeah.
Yes.
So, and forgive me, I kind of cut you off with that one, but are you going to do? Are you going to put out a spirit video this year?
Well, I don't know. Last year, it's a funny thing. Last year, I saw everybody doing it, and I started thinking, well, do I do this? Or do I say, no, everybody else did that? Mm-hmm. Now, the downside is, if you do it, does it become white noise? Is it just, this is the 1 millionth Spirit Halloween video? But on the other hand, it does show that there's an interest in people in seeing that. If people want to see, if people are watching those videos, it tells you people want to see that. And we're talking about getting videos uploaded regularly. What could be easier than to go into a local store and shoot it? So that is, quite frankly, low-hanging fruit.
Absolutely.
So maybe why not? But here's the kicker. Last year, we didn't have a Spirit Halloween in this area. First Halloween ever. We didn't have a Spirit Halloween. I'm sure there was one somewhere within driving distance. I probably could have found one 20 miles away.
That's because Philly is doing so well economically. Obviously, there's no.
Well, there's a permanent one in Philly. There's one in Philly that is like open all year round.
That's impressive.
But locally here in my neighborhood, there's usually one every single year. And last year was the first year there wasn't. So I'm like. I think that was the kicker. I think I was thinking, should I do this? Should I do this? And then the fact that it was slightly inconvenient made me say, no, I'm not going to do that.
As you pointed out, there's so many people that are doing it because it is quote unquote low hanging fruit. I will say this, doing it is easy. Doing it well is very difficult. I think the more people that are doing it, really the harder it is to put out a video of note. And the people who put out the same spirit type of content, but put the quality into it to rise to the top, I have to tip my hat to them. That is not an easy thing to pull off.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree. And I mean, I just did, it was the same thing. Like and here's the funny thing. I didn't know everybody was going to do this, but I did the Spider-Man Whopper. I did like, hey, let's go eat the Spider-Man Whopper. Then everyone did.
Yes,
and I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was going to be a thing. I felt like I was a trendsetter on that one because that was one I did before I saw everybody else was doing it.
Butts Unplugged is taking off because it's 2 a.m. in the UK.
Yes. Get some
Godspeed.
sleep. Get some sleep.
Absolutely. Do you know what? I was going to ask you, Joe, in terms of the content in Philly, because there's the Philly captain, obviously, but you don't have as many. I think it's safe to say you don't have as many vloggers per se as we do in Orlando, or you'd see out in Los Angeles, or some of these other cities. But what I don't see coming out of Philly very often is content about the historical locations, content about some of the cultural locations, content about some of the amazing geography you guys have. And I have to think that there's got to be a reason that Philadelphians aren't covering that. So I guess it's a two-part question. A, is there a reason it doesn't get covered? And B, because I personally would take a great interest in it. Do you think that there's anything to that?
I don't know. I know. Well, I know the Philly captain does cover a lot of stuff like that. He's an expert on the history of this city. I mean, he knows it's apparently he was studying to be a tour guide. He wanted to be a tour guide to take people around the city, and they wouldn't have him because they said he was too Philly.
He's Joey Bag of Donuts at the end of the day. That's his character, and he plays it well. I'm not saying it's an act, but you don't know.
I would argue with Adam on one thing. Like Adam said something a bit the other day about this is a shtick you're doing. I've been with him when the camera goes off. I don't know that I'd say it's a shtick.
No.
But yeah, I love the guy though. He's a great guy. I wouldn't have met him if it wasn't for Adam. I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't. So he that's one thing we gotta say for Adam. He brings people together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the captain's a great guy. I want to do more with him. I want to shoot more videos with him.
I've never met him. Adam speaks pretty highly of him. Obviously, you speak very highly of him. You and Scott 100% need to get together on something. I think Scott, by the way, if you go back and watch this again, Scott, I would love to see more Philly content from Scott on tape. And this is the guy that can make it happen. Just saying.
Hey. I can make many things happen. I can make many things happen.
Joe is much more connected than I think people realize on a great many levels.
I'm more connected than I realized.
Especially last week when your car was connected to. Yeah. Anyways,
I did the video on that on my car accident. Basically, let's go to the body shop and check out my car. And a friend of mine just goes, I can't believe you made a video out of this.
Hey, well, life gives you lemons, man.
Lisa says, I think his volume might be a shtick. But yeah, I mean, he does get louder on camera. You're right about that.
Do you think at this point, Joe, that in the future with the are you calling what you're doing a relaunch, by the way?
I don't know. A recommitment. Okay. Maybe that's the word.
With your recommitment, do we have an opportunity in the next several months while the weather is pretty decent to see you going downtown, for instance? And I know when we say that Joe lives in Philly, everyone's like, oh, Philadelphia is easy. Everything's right. Philly's a big city. Do we have the chance of seeing you go to some of these historical locations? Or you know what I think would be a great video from you especially would be the Reading Terminal Market, because it's not just food like some people think it is. There's some great bookstores, there's some great candle store. There's some cool stuff down there, and I don't think people know how cool it is.
Yeah, I'd like to do something. I don't know. I have half-baked ideas. I have ideas for videos that I don't know how to pull together into a full video. I don't want to reveal all my secrets on here, but there's a couple things that Mr. Dave Perillo and I have discussed doing that we're like, okay, that's cool, but how do you get that out into a full video? And by the way, Deej, I would love to come to New Orleans. This won't be the year for it. Part of the reason I'm not going to Dragon Con, I know this is nothing this is old. Nothing to Ryan because it's your neighborhood. But I was in Disney twice this year, so there's only so much money. you can't you can't go to Disney twice
Blood
and
from a
still have
turnip.
money left over. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, movie mania Nick just chimed in. He's not that far from Philly. Do you know Nick?
I know him from seeing him on the streams. We've never met.
Nick gets around a little bit. He's been in same thing as Nick. Nick has actually come to Orlando a couple times, and same thing. I'm always out of town whenever Nick's here. But Nick actually he's I think sometimes in the same situation you are, where he does some of the ones from the beach over in Maryland that nobody else gets to. You see 15 videos pop up for people trying the new cupcake here at Disney, and then I'll flip over and Movie Mania Nick is at a conference in Maryland, and I see that you are the first person to show the new ride at Sesame Place, and that's good content. That's stuff that you're not seeing flipping everywhere. But to your point, how do you get the general public to latch onto it a little bit and to give it enough of a taste to go, I really do like this?
I don't know. If I knew, man, I think I wouldn't be the fourth biggest vlogger in the Philly area.
Rody with Rich, by the way, joining us as well. I see he is. I say up and coming, but he's actually I'd say I'd put past up and coming. He's out of Orlando too. He's on the opposite side of the city. I'm from your neck of the woods here in Winter Park. Rody with Rich is quite to the left of there, but it's the same boat. He like us is a dad. He is a dad that is trying to be a family man and do things the right way while still growing his channel. And I got to give Rich a lot of credit. This is a guy that puts out a lot of content while still being that dad. So maybe Rich needs to be telling us what to do at this point.
Maybe we gotta get him on the stream too. But it is a little past 9. I think you got to get going to get your kids to bed, right?
Absolutely. But that being said, I enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun, and Joe, obviously, I think we had fun with this because this is how we talk, even when we're not on a live stream.
I recently hung out with I don't know how many because like I said, we're streaming on 3 channels right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people know the crew from the MME channel, but I hung out with several people from the MME channel recently at the Too Many Games convention. Mad Max, our illustrious leader here at MME, and Rhea and Brucifer. And I told them, we were talking about the personas they put on camera, and I said, I can't be bothered to put on a persona. I'm who I am on camera and off camera. And they all were like, yes, this is absolutely 100% true. We can verify you are exactly the same on camera and off camera. Because you call it laziness. I think I'm too lazy to come up with a persona.
I think you have enough of a personality. You don't need to be doing it.
Well, I thought I had a personality, but then you hang out with people who have much bigger personality. You and I don't want to hold you much longer. I know you got to get going, but you and I have talked about this. In fact, we talked about it on this stream. We tend to disappear in the eyes of the public. We tend to disappear, you and I, when we're around some of our better known personalities, friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen it at Dragon Con. People come over, and you and I step aside, and we look at each other, and we just go, "We're not the ones they're here to see." It's like you think you have kind of a big personality until you're with someone who has a much bigger personality, and then you realize maybe you don't have that bigger personality to begin with.
That's a very It's a very astute observation. Unfortunately, it's very true too. Dragon Con is. Last year, I got recognized on at Dragon Con more than I've ever been recognized before, which was kind of cool. But to your point earlier, it was always, "Hey, there's Splorin Ryan from the Adam the Woo channel."
I used to get there's Crazy Joe from the Cinema Sickness channel, and it's like, come on, man! Now it's been replaced with the Adam the Woo channel because I was on with Adam the Woo like 3 or 4 times this year. Now it's Crazy Joe from the Adam the Woo channel.
Hey, you know what though? You got a good hang out of it. It's at the end of the day, what you see at Dragon Con with these vlogs where we're all in each other's videos, that is a half hour of the day. The rest of the day is us just hanging out as friends, shooting the shite, just being geeks at Dragon Con. So I mean, that's the reality. What you see on the camera is just a moment in time.
I remember one of the last times we were there. It wasn't last year. I think it was the year before last. But we were all sitting around the table eating in the food court.
Yep.
And someone at our table was telling a really, really foul joke that they wouldn't tell on camera. So the kind of thing that I'm not going to say who, but they were telling a joke that would not match the persona that most people think of them. And just then my daughter called. And I pulled the phone out to answer it, and that individual went, "No, don't pull a camera out now!" Like, I had a flip out, and I'm like, "No, I'm answering my daughter's call."
It's Adam is.
I didn't say it was Adam.
I'm not saying you did. Adam is one of those people that people come up to all the time, like, "Are those petunias?" Or Hitchcock would be proud. It's like he doesn't generally walk around saying those things so much.
I don't think I've ever heard him say, "Are those petunias?" In person. On video, yeah. I don't think I've ever heard him say it in person.
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone does have this idea as to what people like. Adam is generally the same person on camera that he is off in terms of what he likes and all that. He's not putting on any airs. If anything, I would say Adam's voice may be a little louder on camera because he's actually a very soft-spoken guy, unless you get him too riled up in person. Nola Deej, Ryan, are you in the room? I think you are. Probably not. If you're thinking about the room that you stayed at, I actually moved about 2 years ago. But it's all the same stuff. But anyways, people are always surprised to see that Adam is actually more soft-spoken in real life than he is on the camera, whereas I am probably even louder than that. So, is that Burt Reynolds? That's a classic Florida joke right there, Lisa.
I did the one wooism that I kind of geeked out at the first time I heard him say it in person was, and you were there. We were all sitting down to have a meal, and he pulled out his camera and he started shooting his food, and he said, "This is what we're dealing with," and I'm like, he said it.
Yeah. Ding.
All right. You got to get going.
This one's got to go to bed right here.
But hey, this was a lot of fun. I would encourage everyone everyone who's watching on Crazy Joe Adventures or MME, go subscribe to Splorin Ryan. I put the address in the comments, and I would respectfully ask, if you're watching on the Splorin Ryan channel, come subscribe to me.
Absolutely. Before we completely sign off, if anyone here would like to leave their channel in the comments, I think we should share the love all around. Is that cool with you, Joe?
That's fine with me.
I happen to know that Jeff's got a channel. Movie Mania Nick has a channel. Deej has a channel. Rody with Rich has a channel. Scrolling further up, obviously Scott was here. There's guys. Put your one more time if you've already done it. Put your channels in the comments over the next 30 seconds or so, because we do have to jump off of here pretty quickly.
I don't see any. You said some people did it. I don't see it. None are coming through on my end.
Well, we got Dark Side Couple. That's
yeah,
Jeff.
yeah, we got Dark Side Couple. All right.
Yep, and I believe that's one word. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff. That's one word in the actual YouTube address. But if you search it with 2 words, you're good.
I will definitely subscribe. Oh, Geriatric Geek, one of the good ones. I love Geriatric Geek, man. Great guy. Great guy. Nola Deej, another one of the great ones. He's got 2 channels. Check him out. And I'm gonna have to check out Roadie with Rich. I've never seen that one. Rich, I will be checking you out.
Rich is just lapping us in terms of the amount of content that I don't know how he does. Although I believe Rich, I don't want to speak too much for you. I believe even though Rich is a family man, Rich may have retired from some of his other obligations more recently, which gives him a little bit more time. But you know as well as I do, being a dad can still be full time.
Brucifer, my good friend Brucifer over at the Kingdom of Nerds channel.
Wait, you're Kingdom of Nerds? Okay, you're Brucifer Kingdom of Nerds? Okay, see that was the missing piece there.
Oh, you were looking for the name Brucifer in the chat?
No, I didn't realize that Brucifer and Kingdom of Nerds were the same person.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I just hung out with Brucifer at Too Many Games. Good guy.
That explains a few things. My daughter's captured the cat in her purse.
All right, everyone. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank Ryan. Thanks for doing this with me. I know you're a busy guy. I gotta get that comment. I'm flipping around here, and I got the. So hey, I don't have an end screen for you, but I've got an end screen for me, so I'll do that. And everyone, subscribe to everyone you saw in the chat. Subscribe to Ryan, and yeah, I look forward to seeing where Splorin goes from here. And
same thing with Krazy Joe Adventures.
Keep wearing those pajamas, and you need to say delicious or anything, or the Dapper comes in waves, or any catchphrases.
I hope you'll join us next time when we do Just a Little Splorin.
Just know that this say.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open it, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them bitches. Some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander adamas. But no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. I know we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.